Wilson at Wilson Motor Company. Save big during our 83rd anniversary sale, our biggest sales event of the year. We have reduced prices on over 330 Ford, Nissan, and pre-owned vehicles. Check out our inventory online at wilsonmotor.com or drop in for a test drive at one of our two great locations, 328 North Main or our pre-owned superstore next to the Olive Garden, and talk with one of our friendly, qualified staff to help you find the right vehicle for you.
Wilson Motor Company, we make car buying easy.
Northern Utah has spoken, and the results are in. The Best of Northern Utah 2026 winners have been announced. See which businesses earn top honors. Pick up your free Winners Magazine at locations throughout Cache Valley, or check out the complete results online at bestofnorthernutah.com. Thank you for supporting our local businesses that make our community great. Best of Northern Utah 2026 is proudly presented by Alpine Cleaning and Restoration.
Best of Northern Utah.
It's time for the Garden Guide with your host, Mark Anderson from Anderson Seed and Garden.
New research suggests that people are more likely to eat vegetables if they have a tempting name.
What a life be without a homegrown tomatoes. Only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes.
From gardening to landscaping.
Today we are going to try and create garden eyebrows. Kind of like the flowers are sprouting directly from your hair. That makes sense.
Go! Phone lines are open at 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
Kind of like eating vegetables.
It's the Garden Guide, now on KVNU 610 AM and 102 FM.
And we welcome you to the show on a beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning. And, all day yesterday, Mark, it kind of felt like Saturday with many of us having the day off. But, we are back and glad to have everyone joining us for the Garden Guide here on KVNU. And phone lines are open for the Garden Guide. If you've got a question about your garden, your lawn, we can talk all things plants and trees. Phone lines are open at 753-KVNU. We were just talking before as we were both walking into the building. And, Mark, there's just nothing that compares to this time of year in Cache Valley. Between the cruise-in going on, you had the fireworks Thursday night. It's just a great time. Plus the F-35 flyover that was yesterday morning.
I saw that.
Wasn't that awesome?
I was out working in my garden.
We were actually up by the Logan Golf Course, just going along the Logan River Trail, and came out of the trees right up by the far the far east side of the trail, and we kind of timed it just perfectly. They just flew right over.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was just great.
It was about 10:10.
Yeah.
It was like 10:10, like right on the dot. So they were right on time, as usual. Seems like the Air Force is pretty precise.
It's amazing when they said, we will be over Lewiston at 10:13. And we think, okay, 10:13.
Yeah, we better be watching.
Yeah.
So
it's just a great weekend and a lot going on. Of course, the cruise-in continuing today. The parade will be going down Main Street coming up tonight.
They were lined up in front of my house yesterday. So
really?
they were doing the run up to Bear Lake.
Yes.
Yeah. So they line up on Canyon Road. So they were like lined up right in front of my house. So from like Rudy's all the way down to like Lobs.
You got a perfect view.
Yeah, we could just see like all the cars as they just like came by. Then they like line up and then they all drive up the canyon. At least there wasn't construction yesterday.
True.
So they probably avoided the 30-minute wait.
That's that'll be coming up again next week. But a lot to talk about. Raspberries are coming on. I think you were saying earlier that your peas are pretty much done. We didn't do any peas this year.
Peas are done. Oh, I did pick my first ripe tomato this week.
Really?
Yeah, July 2nd. I think that's one of the earliest I've ever had. So without like taking a giant plant home that already had fruit on it.
Yeah, which doesn't count. You dropped that in the ground. That doesn't count.
This is one that I planted that was in like a 4-inch container, so it was tiny, and now it's 4 feet tall, and it had ripe fruit on it already. So we picked. Yeah, we picked.
We were talking. It was a week ago about fertilizing tomatoes, and it was interesting. We brought up the topic because I had just finished fertilizing our tomatoes for the first time this year.
Right.
And I went back out and was looking at them Wednesday night, and they had doubled in size.
Yeah.
And I thought, Well, you were exactly right on that one.
Right. They like this weather. They like it hot during the day, and they like it cool at night. They would ripen up faster if it stayed hot at night, but that's okay. We don't need them ripening too quickly right now. And they definitely like to be fed right now. So I've kind of switched my fertilizer up a little bit. I'm still doing the compost tea, but then I've started to put some micronutrients in with it as well too. So we started adding a micronutrient package, which is really important for like flavor. So it really helps like flavor up your fruit, so your fruit tastes like a tomato, like it's supposed to. But it's also really important for fruit production and to keep the plants really healthy too, because the compost tea really gets the soil going like crazy. But otherwise, it's important to keep those micronutrients out there. So,
and that's why our guest is very timely today, as we're talking about fertilizing and all things fertilizer. We have Daniel from Ferti-lome joining us on the line, and Daniel, boy, you picked the perfect time to call in.
That's right. Boy, I tell you, I might be about week or two behind you guys, but I've got some tomatoes that are almost ripe myself.
So all right.
If I could just get my kids to stop plucking them before they're ready.
That's half the fun, though. It's like doing it with the kids. It's like my kids are all grown up now, but I still get some help out in the garden, which is really refreshing. But that was, those are memories you don't get back once they are once they are bigger. And that's a great place for the kids to learn how to work a little bit, to learn to have fun a little bit, and then to learn how great fresh vegetables are that you pick right out of your own garden.
My 4-year-old knows all the stages. He loves to tell people when they come over, look, this flower's going to turn into a tomato, and this tomato over here was a flower a week ago. He can tell them the whole process.
Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool.
Yeah.
There's nothing like growing your own stuff and going out in the garden and picking it and then eating it while you're standing out there in the garden, and it just tastes so much better than anything else you could find anywhere.
Well, you can do everything at the right time. You can let it fully develop and give it everything it needs and let it, fully ripen. That's all part of it tasting better, is watching that whole process.
Yep, absolutely. It's always better when you grow it yourself, so that's good. So how are things over there in Colorado? You're just like one neighbor state over, so.
That's right. No, things are going well. We've been having great weather. Temperatures are warming up a bit, but up until this point, we've had phenomenal weather, good rain.
You've been getting all the rain that we have not. So.
Oh no, yeah. There was about a 2-week stretch there where I told my wife, I said, "Are we back in Louisiana? It's raining almost every day."
Yeah, I think it just kind of went around Utah and just like hit Colorado. Just kept going around. So.
Well, we should have shared some with you because we had plenty.
Yeah, absolutely. We could have taken half of yours, and we would have been happy, and you probably would have been happy too. So yeah, we had a really dry June. We did get 200s last night.
Get 200 last night. Yeah, we'll take every little bit. It was just a drop or two in the rain bucket.
Enough to make the road wet. That was about what we got. So not too bad. Not too bad. But we are starting to see a lot of bugs this year, so lots of grasshoppers showing up, and tobacco budworms, and let's see, aphids have been kind of bad, and wasps and hornets are popping up like crazy right now as well too. So
it's all happening about the same time.
So not too bad, yeah. So very excited about the new bug blaster Lambda Silohethrin. So I've been using that, and it has been sensational for the grasshoppers. Outstanding for the grasshoppers.
Really good for grasshoppers, but if you've got something tough like a squash bug or a stink bug or something in your vegetable garden that, just the regular old whatever you've been using is not getting it, that bug blaster, it really knocks them out. Yeah. I like it a lot.
Yep. I started seeing squash bugs about 2 weeks ago on my giant pumpkins, which is an absolute no. We do not want any squash vine borer attacking the giant pumpkins, which I have one set on every one of my plants. So I'm super excited. So if I can get a fruit set by the 1st of July, then I'm like stoked. So pretty excited.
We just started getting our first signs of Japanese beetles here, and that's that's our real tough one to knock out. And that Bug Blaster or even spinosad soap will really do a good number.
Good job on the Japanese beetles. Fortunately, you still have the Japanese beetles, and we don't. So that's a really good thing. So maybe we can forego the rainstorm if you're going to keep the Japanese beetles. So.
When I tell you, let's keep them on this side of the mountain because they're a nuisance when you've got them.
Difficult, so. Yeah. I think it was probably 6 or 7 years ago. There was a slight outbreak of Japanese beetle down in the Provo, Orem area, and it came in with some nursery stock from somewhere out of state, and the state of Utah quarantined and just went all out to get them under control before they really started to spread, and they did. That's great. They eradicated them right off the bat, so we didn't have them spread all over the place. So I think the state of Utah has been very aggressive on the Japanese beetles to prevent that from happening. So, but
that's really good. Educate your customers. I mean, putting out stuff in your lawn for the grubs and everything at the appropriate time.
Right. Well,
if you do get them in your yard, getting rid of them quick.
Yeah, that's what we've noticed with the new Bug Blaster Lambda, that it has been sensational at the squash bugs, and it's been really good on some of the tough beetles like the strawberry root weevils. It's done a really great job on those. Grasshoppers, obviously, mosquitoes. Mosquitoes started out really bad, but since we had such a dry June, I really haven't seen a whole lot.
No.
Yeah, not too bad on the grasshoppers. But tobacco budworms have taken off like crazy, so we've had to start treating all of our petunias on Center Street and on Main Street because the tobacco budworms will just eat all the blossoms. There'll just be nothing left.
Very good. Are you doing that like a two-prong approach, or are you doing like a systemic in the soil and then maybe a spray on the foliage?
We've been doing the foliage spray with the new Bug Blaster, and then we've also been putting a little spinosad in as well too. And what we've found we've had to be a little careful using the spinosad soap because it will discolor the blossoms a little bit. So, the soap has been discoloring the blossoms, but the standard spinosad has been fine. What's interesting with the tobacco budworms is since they are indigenous to tobacco plants, that they are resistant to the nicotine in imidacloprid. So the systemics aren't working on them at all. So
interesting. Well, at least with the spinosad, you're getting a little bit of, it's not truly systemic, but it's a translaminate getting inside that leaf layer so it waits a little bit. So that's nice.
Yeah. Very, very effective on the tobacco budworm. So right now, since the population's really high, we've been spraying weekly just to stay on top of it. And then we'll probably back off a little bit and then go every other week for the rest of the summer because they just kind of pop up all summer long. So we just have to watch for them and be prepared. So not too bad.
Well, it's a good thing we have a lot of options. We've got a lot of different things in our arsenal. Everybody always asks me, what's the best thing? Or I wish I could just use one thing. And it's like, there's a reason why all these different things exist. We like to be able to tackle it different ways. So.
Yeah. And the spinosad's so effective, and we've really got a lot of our customers and listeners trained to use the spinosad. And it really is my first, well, it's actually my second line of defense. So I use the Mosquito Go first to keep the bugs out of the garden, and it really does work. Like it works amazingly well at keeping a lot of the flying insects and the adults out of the garden so they're not laying eggs. And so that's really my first line of defense. Second line of defense is spinosad because it does work on most of the larval stages of the insects, whether it's caterpillar or larval stage of Colorado potato beetle or Mexican bean beetles. Works great on those. And then if we have to get serious, then I go to the Bug Blaster Lambda.
There you go. Yeah, you got all your different layers of defense. Well, I'm doing the same thing. I've got some Mosquito Go out in my lawn right now, and I tell you, it makes me feel so guilty. It's so effective. I feel like I've got to tell all my neighbors about it too. I feel like I'm leaving them high and dry.
We're driving the bugs to their house instead. Is what we're doing. So not.
But boy, that's a great part. And then you can put it everywhere. You can put it in your vegetable garden. You can put it in your lawn.
Yep.
You can put it absolutely everywhere.
And it's been
really good.
Super effective and very low toxicity for people. And that's what we want. We want something that
smells good. Usually
it smells great.
Smells good.
Yeah. That's the one thing that I tell people is like, you're gonna put this out and your yard's gonna smell awesome. So you're gonna want to spend the evenings outside. So not only because the mosquitoes are gone, but it just makes your yard smell great. So.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Any other cool new products that we should be aware of from Ferti-lome or High Yield this year?
Well, definitely something that's going to be coming out next year, and this is a big part because of you, Mark, is the Mosquito Go granules. We're going to have a second product called Grasshopper Go. So it's going to be, even more directed toward grasshoppers. So you've done a wonderful job of letting your customers know and telling them, hey, this Mosquito Go works well in grasshoppers. Well, we're going to take your lead and we're going to make another product that's going to have the same active ingredient and just change that name.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then your bug blaster that's doing so well. Right now we only have it in a concentrate and a hosen. We're going to have it in a ready to use as well.
Oh, nice.
So those will be 2 new items. Yeah, those will be 2 new items you'll see this year at the show that you can offer up next year to your customers. So
awesome. I would say the one thing that my customers are asking for that we still don't have is the Decimate in a RTU too.
I know. We're working on that. So there's 2 different formulas of that Decimate. One of them's a higher strength and the other one's a lower strength. And right now we've got the higher strength formula and there's no ready to use for that one. So we really need to get our hands on that lower strength one, and then that'll give us options for a ready to use.
For RTU, yeah. Because my customers are using the Decimate, and they're just like having really, really great results with it. And all the time they're like, "Have you got this ready to use? I just want like a little trigger sprayer to just hit these few weeds and do this." So that would be super helpful as well too. Excited about the RTU.
So anybody who hasn't used it. Yeah, so anybody who hasn't used it, that's just it's very similar to our Kills-All. It's got a couple of different ways you can use it, but it kills everything. It kills grass, it kills broadleaf weeds, but there's no high-end temperature on it, which is awesome. I mean, most of these herbicides stop working when temperatures get warmer. The plants shut down and they don't absorb that herbicide very well. And Decimate, if you want to brave it, you can go out there at 110 degrees and kill weeds,
and it will work.
Get good results.
Yep, and it will work. I like it because it biodegrades so fast out of the soil. So, in a couple sections of my garden, I've got some puncture vine and some morning glory that have snuck in there, and I can till that stuff all day, and it just comes right back. And so I can go in with the Decimate, I can spray it. 24 hours later, it's looking really bad. After 48 hours, it's like almost dead. And then till it all up, and then it doesn't come back, and it does just a sensational job. But what's nice is where it biodegrades so fast out of the soil. Once I incorporate it back in the soil, I can plant. I can plant immediately in that area where I've used it because it's not going to harm other plants. And
exactly,
and it doesn't spread.
I think if you end up having to use it in your lawn for something, like a native fescue or something, you can reseed in that area within 24 hours. So you could spray and kill on Friday, and you could reseed Saturday. I mean, there's not many things that you could turn around and reseed or replant that fast.
Yep, for sure.
Really great product.
For sure. Hey, let me take a second, Daniel, and remind everybody that there's some great specials going on at Anderson's this weekend. So fruit trees, 25% off still on the fruit trees. They are looking great. In fact, I scoped out my planting spots yesterday, and I took home 12 trees, but I'm pretty sure I have room for 10. so 2 are going to have to get eliminated. But great time to plant fruit trees. 25% off on all of our fruit trees. So great time to do that. And then we are seriously clearing out our greenhouses. It's starting to get it's getting too hot in the greenhouses. So all of our remaining vegetables are 25 cents. So they're 25 cents for like peppers and tomatoes and squashes that we've got left over. So 25 cents. So that's way better than half price, 25 cents each. So I got some good ones. And I think we're doing the same thing on a lot of our flowers.
Oh, okay.
As well too. Not all of them, just some of the flowers. So we're starting to clear the greenhouses out. Bloomed out perennials. So the perennials still look great, but they're all done blooming for this year. They'll bloom again next year. They'll come back after winter. Those are half price as well too. So we've got some really great deals on fruit trees. We've got deals on perennials. We've got annual flowers and vegetables that are super discounted, that they're almost free.
Okay.
And it's a good time to get those planted, especially where it's a little bit cooler right now. Like yesterday, what was our high? Like 84?
Yeah, just checking. It was 85.
85, so that's pretty close. Yeah, that's pretty close. So great temperatures this weekend. It is going to start warming up next week, but great time to come into Anderson's, get a little bit of compost tea, and grab some flowers and some vegetables and add a few things to your garden. I think I'm going to add a tomato plant into my garden.
Put in another one.
Yeah, I've got one that's not looking great, and so I think I'm going to yank it and throw another one in there because there's plenty of time to get it going. And since my peas are done this weekend, I'm going to cut the peas down, and we're going to till those into the soil, and then we're going to plant some other stuff. So you could plant some bush beans right now. I could plant some more corn. So it's definitely enough time to plant corn and beans, but you could do carrots or beets as well too. Some of your summer squashes really fast. 45 days. They'll produce in 45 days. So zucchinis or crooknecks, you could plant those, and by the time kids go back to school, they'll be producing. Yeah, they'll be producing squash. So recycle and reuse some of that space where the cold crops are coming out. So spinach and lettuce are finishing up, peas are finishing up, and you can reuse and recycle that space and put some other vegetables in. And there's plenty of time. Think about it. Pioneers planted on the 24th of July.
Yeah.
So we got plenty of time.
Easy.
Plenty of time to get a few crops in there still. So that goes for you too, Daniel.
Yeah.
That's right.
Even in Colorado.
Even in Colorado, you can do the same thing. So
plant a few extras so my kids can pluck all that they'd like.
Yeah. Well, some of those fall crops are like amazing because it's cooling down, and so the quality gets better instead of them producing in the middle of the summer when it's really, really hot. And and corn comes on a lot faster. So like if you plant corn on the 4th of July and it's a 75, 78 day corn, it'll come on in about 65 days. It comes on faster because of the heat, and the soil's really, really warm, so it germinates quicker. It matures faster. Key is you got to make sure and feed it. So I did my corn yesterday and then got it watered afterwards. So first thing in the morning, got up and it was nice and cool outside. So I fertilized the corn, pulled a few weeds, and then I watered right where I had fertilized. And since we've been talking about the Bigfoot, I decided that I would treat 2 of my rows out of 4 rows of the corn with the Bigfoot. Oh. So the corn is about 10 inches tall, 12 inches tall on a couple rows, and then I've got 2 rows that were kind of struggling a little bit. The soil's not quite as good there, and so I made sure to treat all of them yesterday
with a little bit of
Bigfoot, and so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But everybody got fertilized, so I do a high nitrogen fertilizer when the corn's about 10 to 12 inches tall. And then I'll do it again in a couple of weeks when it is 3 feet tall. And then I'll do it again a couple of weeks after that when it really starts to tassel. And then you'll get really, really great corn production. The corn's a heavy nitrogen feeder. And so I decided this year I'd try a new fertilizer. So I'm using Pro Peat, which comes from Idaho. It's a really cool fertilizer. It has a peat, like a peat moss base to it. Oh. And so it's higher in carbon, and it's high in sulfur as well too, which the corn loves the higher sulfur, and it likes the carbon since it grows so fast. It needs the carbon. And then it's got a nice, I think it's like a 17 or 18% nitrogen.
Oh, okay.
And so we'll see how it works on the corn. I'm kind of excited to see what happens. So the sulfur is really good for the corn, and then the carbon's great for the soil, and then we've got a nice slow release nitrogen. So we'll see.
And that's called Pro Peat.
It's called Pro Peat. Yeah, they've got one that's made for vegetables, so it's a balanced fertilizer. It's an 11-11-11 with a lot of micros in it, but the carrier is peat moss. And so it's got 30% carbon in it. And so it works great. And it works amazing with the humic Daniel. So the combination is awesome with the humic because the humic's got a lot of carbon in it as well too with all the micros, and the between the two, the humic and fulvic acids just break that peat moss down and free up all that good stuff for the plants. So.
Yeah, lower that soil pH a little bit.
Yep.
That'd be fantastic.
With the sulfur. So yeah, it's really, really good. So we'll see what happens.
One of the questions that I get a lot of times, and one that we've seen in our garden this year, is raspberries not fully developing.
Yeah.
We really fertilized heavy last year, really increased the iron in our raspberry patch, and the plants have really come on strong over the last year.
Sure.
But this year, I'm noticing the overall berries, just a little smaller than they usually are.
Your plants are big, lots of growth, and your berries. It could be pollination. And so if they're not getting pollinated fully, then you will have kind of like not deformed berries, but they won't form completely the way they should. And I've had some other people saying their squashes are producing squash, but then they're not getting pollinated to start off with. So it could be the weather, could be that it has been warm and dry, and so the blossoms are kind of fading before the bees get in there. Because I really have seen a lot of bees. Like I was out yesterday, and my lavender is in full bloom, and it was just like covered with bees. Yeah, so it's like the bees are out. And I've been in my squashes and my giant pumpkins, and there's been a lot of bee activity in there as well too. But I have had a lot of people say their blossoms are falling off, and they're not getting pollinated. Yeah, they're not getting pollinated, and I think it has had a little bit to do with the weather.
Okay.
Yeah, since the weather has been funny. But if your berries don't get pollinated properly, then they'll drop. And we have seen a lot of raspberry cane borer as well too. So we've seen a bunch of cane borer.
Okay. All right.
So we got to watch for that as well too. I've seen, like this week, I saw probably 10 samples of raspberry cane borer.
Okay.
So
something else
starting to happen. Yeah, starting to happen.
So overall, though, a good blend of fertilizer for your raspberries.
Yeah.
Because you do want to have high iron.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's almost, we even got to the point where we were treating additionally just iron.
Right.
And watering that in. But then what's a good ideal mixture of fertilizer?
From high yield, I love the Iron Plus for the raspberries because it has that combination of sulfur, iron, and nitrogen in there, which is kind of what the raspberries like, and that works awesome. And you've got 4-pound bags and 25-pound bags of the Iron Plus, right, Daniel?
The new one's a 3 1/4 pound bag.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still used to the 4-pound bags. It's gonna
take us a long time.
It's gonna take me more than a season. Yeah, it's gonna take more than a season to tell people.
Get used to that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we had to go to a smaller bag. But I think the biggest reason they went to the bag is because the bag is so much nicer than the
I love how it sits on the shelf now. They
sit on the shelves perfectly, and it's automated, so they get packaged, by robot instead of by hand, which is kind of nice. So
I know that's a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, but boy, it makes a big difference. It really helps us out. But and then also when you have 2 bags, now those smaller bags can sit right next to the other bags on the shelf. They don't have to be placed somewhere else in the store. So there was a lot of thought that went into why we did those changes.
Yeah. But the Iron Plus,
picking out a fertilizer with an iron in it, you got to make sure you pick one up that's not going to get bound up in the soil, and that Iron Plus Soil Acidifier is a great choice.
Yeah, because it's got the sulfur in there, and it's got the ammonium sulfate, so it's got that nice quick release nitrogen and the sulfur to bring the pH down, and then it's got the iron to keep those plants green. I try and fertilize my raspberries every time I prune them. So if I will prune in the spring and trim out some of the dead stuff that happens over the wintertime, and then I fertilize them. And then in the summer, after you get that first production off of either the June bearing or the ever bearing, I'll prune them again. And after I'm done pruning in the middle of summer, I'll feed them again. And so they get fed twice a year that way, and it works wonderfully. Yeah, it works really well.
Yeah. It's a good one for the lawn as well. If you're wanting to throw some extra iron out on your lawn, that Iron Plus Soil Solidifier really greens up the lawn nicely.
That is our wedding special fertilizer. So if somebody's having a wedding in their backyard or a reception or big party, and they come in the store and they're like, I need my lawn to look really, really good because we got this wedding coming up end of
3 weeks.
Yeah, end of July. And I'm just like, oh, your timing's like perfect. It's like, put this on 2 weeks before your event. So, circle it on the calendar 2 weeks before your event. Put this Iron Plus on. And honestly, every single time people come back in after their event is over and they go, my lawn looks so awesome. It looks so great. Yeah.
Yeah, when you think your lawn can't look any better, try using some Iron Plus Soil Solidifier, and it'll step it up a notch.
It really does. It really does. So we have our customers grab those bigger bags, and they end up doing like 4,000 square feet per bag, and man, it's our wedding fertilizer. So I had somebody in this week, they're just like, I need the wedding fertilizer.
Nice. Works every time.
Yeah, it does work great. So
excellent. Well, we're talking with Daniel from Ferti-lome and, of course, Mark Anderson from Anderson Seed and Garden. And coming up in just a minute, more to talk about, and we can take your calls, 435-753-5868. Got a question about your garden, your lawn, plants and trees? Phone lines are open at 753-KVNU, and we'll be right back.
Quick look at some of the top stories here at the bottom of the hour. I'm Will Feelright. Well, an environmental group is challenging claims that Utah's Wasatch Front cities are running out of water, labeling the narrative a myth used to push expensive infrastructure projects. Now, Zach Frankel, who is director of the Utah Rivers Council, said that municipal areas account for only a fraction of the state's total water use. And he is urging that low rates are fostering wasteful habits, and the outdoor watering could be dramatically curtailed with little impact. However, Scott Paxman, who is general manager of the Weber Basin Water Conservancy District, called Frankel's stance hogwash, countering that the region is running out of water. Now, Paxman had noted that 20,000 new homes are already being approved within the district boundaries. Now, the debate comes as Ogden is embarking on a $100 million pipeline replacement project. And emergency responders who fought the iron fire near Eureka are being advised to document any potential occupational exposure to historic mining contamination. Now, Great Basin Incident Management Team 3 issued the notice to firefighters and law enforcement who were working near the Tintic Mining District and also the former Eureka Mills Superfund site. Now, officials warned that ground-disturbing activities during the early stages of the blaze may have stirred up soil, dust, or ash that contains lead and other contaminants. Now, crews were moved out of the area once the risk was recognized and no illnesses have been reported. Well, we're going to continue to see hot and dry conditions over the next couple of days as daytime temperatures staying right around the mid to low 90s, with overnight temperatures staying right around the mid 50s. For KVNU News, I'm Will Feelright.
I'm Alex Silvario. The round of 32 is complete in the FIFA World Cup. We're down to 16 teams after Friday's matches. Argentina survived a scare from Cape Verde, 3-2 the final in extra time. Lionel Messi scoring his 20th career World Cup goal, and he scored in every match of the tournament so far. Their next opponent will be Egypt. They knocked off Australia 4-2 in penalty kicks after a 1-1 draw after extra time. It's the first ever win on the knockout stage for Egypt. It's the second ever appearance in the round of 16, and their first since 1934. That matchup will be on Tuesday. The nightcap on Friday saw Colombia shut out Ghana 1-0 in Kansas City. John Arias scored in the 14th minute, and it held all the way through the match. It's third straight round of 16 appearance for Colombia and fourth overall. The shutout is Colombia's third straight of the tournament. Colombia moves on to face Switzerland on Tuesday in Vancouver. The Americans, meanwhile, waiting for their matchup against Belgium in the round of 16 Monday. That'll take place in Seattle, one of the best American home field advantages, where they are 7-0, including a group stage match win over Australia. Tyler Adams on why Seattle's such a great place to play.
Yeah, just to embrace it. I mean, we're very fortunate to be having such amazing support as we've had. You know, specifically Seattle has been unbelievable in hosting us. So it's exciting to come back to a place that feels familiar, that obviously we had the win over Australia, and to know that we can expect that same energy again in one of the biggest moments of our careers is really special.
USA and Belgium on Monday, but the round of 16 gets underway Saturday with 2 matchups. Canada will take on Morocco in the early matchup at 1 p.m. That'll be from Houston, and 5 p.m. Eastern. France will take on Paraguay from Philadelphia on the nation's 250th birthday. America's first couple are officially married. Taylor Swift's publicist confirmed Friday that Taylor Swift and Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce are officially husband and wife after a ceremony at Madison Square Garden. On the baseball diamond, the Dodgers trailed the Padres 3-0 in the 7th, but they win at 4-3 thanks to a Teoscar Hernandez grand slam, their 27th comeback win this season.
The expert with a green thumb. It's the Garden Guide on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM at 102.1 FM.
And we welcome you back to the show. 8:40 on this beautiful Saturday morning. We were just talking temperatures, and Mark, average temperature for today, 87 degrees.
87.
We recorded 85 because we record the high temperature from the day before. So yesterday we hit 85. The average has been 87. So
there you go.
A little cooler.
Little cooler.
We'll take it, but
nice.
We are looking at mid-90s for this weekend.
Yep.
High 90s coming next week.
And those are great tomato and pepper temperatures. So that's what the peppers and the tomatoes like. So we were also talking about Joey Chestnut eating 70 hot dogs yesterday at the competition, which is just crazy. We'll have to see what Daniel's record is for hot dogs on the 4th of July. So
I got to say, I feel like I can always eat more hot dogs on the 4th of July than I could normally eat.
I don't think
when I'm camping.
I don't think I could eat 7 in 10 minutes, let alone 70. So
yeah, that's unbelievable.
It is crazy. It is crazy. So celebration going on at Anderson Seed and Garden. We're not doing a hot dog eating contest, thank goodness, but we do have some really great deals on plants. So we've got vegetables that are 25 cents. We've got flowers that are 25 cents. So we're just trying to clear the greenhouses out since it's getting really hot in there. We've got fruit trees that are 25% off. So we've got some great looking fruit trees in 5 and 7 gallon containers that are 25% off. We've got bloomed out perennials that are 50% off. And then we also need to remind everybody that our Mad Money sale is coming up. So our Mad Money sale, that's like sidewalk sale is next weekend.
Okay.
And then right after sidewalk sale, we start our Mad Money sale. So that will start the 14th and it goes through the 19th. And for anyone who doesn't know about our Mad Money, every time you come in the store from the 1st of March until like when the Mad Money starts, for every $10 that you spend in the store, you get $1 back in Mad Money. And so we do ask you for your customer number or your phone number. And so then we track that for you. So if you come in and you spend $100 this spring on, flowers or vegetables or whatever, you're going to have $10 in Mad Money to come back and spend during our Mad Money sale. And with the Mad Money, you can use it for up to half of your purchase. So you can get up to a 50% discount on anything that's in the store. And the only thing that is not available to use with your Mad Money or to buy with your Mad Money, so you can't use your Mad Money on it, would be the bulk seeds and gift certificates. Yeah. So everything else is free game. So anything in the store that's regular price, you can use your Mad Money on it. Anything in the store that's on sale, you can use your Mad Money on it. And so if you've got $10 in Mad Money and you buy something for $20, you can use all 10 of your Mad Money towards your purchase and get it for $10 of your money, $10 in Mad Money, and you're set. So it's like the best sale of the year. You can use all your Mad Money. You can use parts of your Mad Money because we've got other Mad Money sales coming up throughout the year. So we do a bulb exchange in September, so you can use your Mad Money to buy tulip bulbs. We do Mad Money in December also. So it's a great time of year for us to reward our customers who've been coming in and spending money in the store. So Mad Money coming up the 14th through the 19th of July. And we will have a whole bunch of things on sale already. So you get the sale price and you can use your Mad Money towards it, and you get a really, really good deal on a lot of different things at Anderson Seed and Garden. So good time to come in right now. And don't forget, it is sidewalk sale next week, so we'll probably have some really good deals on trees and shrubs next week. We've been talking about doing some different things on some of our trees and shrubs and perennials as well, too. So,
and of course, you can stop by Anderson Seed and Garden before heading up to the cruising parade.
Absolutely,
tonight at 6:30.
We are going to close a little bit early because it is difficult to get across Main Street if we stay open until 6 o'clock.
Until 6 o'clock.
Yeah, so we are closing at 5:30 tonight just because of that, because it is a little hectic traffic-wise.
Plus, also, you want to share a few of those parking spaces.
Exactly.
Folks.
Yeah. So cruise in this afternoon. I guess it starts at what?
6:30.
6:30. Yeah. So we're closing at 5:30 at Anderson's just to hopefully clear out the parking lot. And I see people are setting up their chairs already.
Oh, yes. So, they've been doing it for a few days.
Yeah, they've been setting up their stuff already. So,
okay.
All right. But we've got a caller.
We do. We have a couple. And so, Daniel will have you join us as we take some calls here. We have Chris first joining us on the line from Logan. Chris, welcome to the show.
Hi. I just love your show.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, so I have rose leaves, not a lot, but they look like a paper punch has punched a round hole in them.
Oh, right along the edges? Or more in the middle?
More in the middle.
Yeah, because there's a root weevil that we talked about earlier on in the show that will take it'll clip edges out of the roses. They love roses. They love lilacs. They like privet. They like peonies. And it looks like somebody took a pinking shear and just went right around the edge of the rose. And so they'll leave these jagged cuts out of the rose leaves. There is also a leaf cutter bee that will do something similar, but the holes are much bigger. And so then it's a bigger, rounder cut.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what it is.
It could be a leaf cutter bee. Of course, we don't want to bother the leaf cutter bees because they are pollinators, and so it's one that you want to just kind of let do its thing. But if it's a root weevil, we can use a couple different insecticides, and you want to just water the roses with it because they hide in the ground during the day. And they come up at night and they clip the edges out of the roses, and so we'll use like the Bug Blaster Lambda. That works great, and you just mix it up in water, and sometimes I'll put a little fertilizer in with it too, and then just water the roses with it, and the roses love the little bit of extra fertilizer, and then it will kill the insects in the soil as they come up in the evening to nibble on your plants. And so that works really, really well for the strawberry root weevils that like the roses. For the bees, we don't want to do anything for those because they are beneficial. It's just cosmetic damage. It's not structural damage, so it's not going to hurt your rose at all. It just makes them look a little funny. So that's why
they just look funny.
Yeah, that's why I like to feed them really regularly. So I am feeding my roses with a granulated fertilizer like monthly, but then I'll hit them occasionally with a compost tea or with a liquid fertilizer to encourage some new growth. And the new growth, when it comes out, it'll look perfect. It'll look great. And so it'll kind of take the place of some of the leaves that have been damaged already. So roses are heavy feeders, so you can be a little more aggressive feeding them.
Okay, great.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Chris. You have a great weekend. Happy holiday.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
And that frees up a phone line at 435-753-5868. If you have a question, comment for Mark of Anderson Seed and Garden or Daniel from Ferti-lome. And let's go right back out to the phone. We have Virginia joining us on the line from Weston, Virginia. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I have a problem in my lawn. When I walk through the grass, I have all these little bugs that fly. It's just like, I don't know what they are, but I don't know. They're about a half inch long.
Okay.
And they fly.
So they are tiny. Are they black? Are they?
No.
What color?
It looks like they're white. The wings.
Okay. There are some very small kind of flies that love to hang out in the lawn, but they don't do damage to your lawn, and so it could be those. What I've found is the mosquito go the repellent that we use for mosquitoes. It works great on those flies in the lawn as well too. Makes your yard smell awesome. It's made from cedar oil, and the cedar is a natural repellent for all kinds of insects, and it works on fungus gnats, it works on flies, it works on moths. And it would definitely work on these, and it would drive them away. It would make them go somewhere else. And so as you walk through the lawn, you wouldn't have them flying up because they're going to leave. They're going to go to your neighbor's house instead. And, yeah.
I don't want to do that.
That's the same predicament I'm in.
Yep. It's terrible. But it's totally safe for you, so it's non-toxic, and it lasts for probably, 2 to 3 weeks, Daniel? I think I can usually get about 3 weeks out of it. I think it says 2 on the back.
Yeah, especially if you're not getting a lot of rainfall, it lasts quite a while. Yeah. I'd say close to 21 days.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it smells great, Virginia. It makes your yard smell like a cedar forest. And the bugs just leave. But it won't bother your beneficial insects. So it doesn't bother bees, and it doesn't bother lady beetles, and it doesn't bother praying mantis. So it won't bother your beneficials as well, too. So
okay.
Yeah.
And what's it called?
It is called Mosquito Go, and it's a granule. And it comes in a 10-pound bag, and it'll cover 2,000 square feet. And like Daniel said, it lasts about 3 weeks.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Good luck. You have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Same to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
And if you were really generous, you just, when you finish the bag around your yard, take it over to your neighbors and be like, hey, I'm
just going
doing
to keep
you
the
a
bugs
favor.
out of your yard. Yeah. Yep. So
Mosquito Go for the yard. Phone lines open, 435-753-5868, 435-753-KVNU. Question, comment about your lawn, garden, plants, trees with Mark Anderson of Anderson Seed and Garden and Daniel from Ferti-lome.
Yep. So, Daniel, one of my favorite products that I've been using all summer is the Fungicide 5. It has been so effective, and I actually mix it in with my compost tea. And
very good.
And
because it works everywhere you apply it. If you spray it on the foliage, it works on the foliage. But if you mix it up with your compost tea, it's going to protect those roots.
Yes.
So.
Yep. And it seems like the microbial activity in the compost tea kind of accentuates what's happening with the bacteria in the Fungicide 5, and it just seems to work.
Oh, very good.
It seems to work even better. So, like on powdery mildews and leaf spots, it just really does a great job and fairly quickly to stop that. And then, like all my tomatoes just look so healthy and look so good right now. And we have had problems with some soil diseases in the past, and it's been super, super effective. So,
very good. Well, it's good to hear that. You're not seeing it interfere with any of the microbial life. Like we asked those questions when that product was first introduced to us, how is it going to affect things? And they said, it should have no effect. But if you're seeing potential added benefits, that's phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, our compost tea is full of microbes and microorganisms and beneficial bacteria. And this is just supplementing one more bacteria in there with it. And then with the food that we put in there for the beneficial biology, I'm thinking it feeds the fungicide as well too. So
very good. Yeah. I've used it a few times for like some leaf spot and some blight and things like that, and I've always gotten really good results above ground.
Right.
But it's good to hear a testimonial from you about the below ground as well.
Yeah. And my customers love it because it goes so far for their money. It's like for price wise, it's about the same as all the other fungicides, but you're getting like 4 to 8 times more out of the bottle than some of the other ones. So if you're using like 3 or 4 tablespoons per gallon on some of the other fungicides, and this one you're using a teaspoon per gallon, you're getting like 10 times more product out of it, and it's super effective. And it's one you can use like right up to the minute before you harvest stuff. So I can like put it on my tomatoes and go, oh darn it, I was going to harvest those tonight, and I can still harvest them and rinse them off and eat them, and it's like completely safe for people and for pets. So. Yeah.
I tell you, these organic insecticides and fungicides have really stepped up the game. It's neat, all these new things that have been coming out in the last 10 years.
Right. Lots of great technology.
And I mean, and we're just kind of, seeing what goes on in nature. I mean, this Fungicide 5 is just a beneficial bacteria. And we've been using those for quite some time, but these new ones, boy, they really go a long way and do a great job.
Yeah.
I always tell people I'm not necessarily pro-organic or pro-synthetic. I want to see results, and these new organics are giving us great results.
Really great results, and very low toxicity for people and for the environment. Mm-hmm. But when it works, then people want to use it again and again and again because it's effective. And price wise, we're noticing, at least I'm noticing, that a lot of the organics are kind of starting to match the prices on a lot of the synthetics, so they're not even that much more expensive. And in the case of the Fungicide 5, it's even less expensive than most of the synthetics.
Very good, very good. Well, I think the biggest thing is we've got to be able to share results, and that's been a big game changer in the last 10 to 20 years. Your organics are really showing good results.
Yep. So. Absolutely. So yeah, that's the way we like it. Any other products that we haven't discussed on new things for Ferti-lome or high yield?
Well, I'll tell you, it's not a Ferti-lome product, and it's not a new product, but it was a new product to me that I picked up from you a couple of months ago when I was working an open house at your store. Was that Hydrotane?
Oh, and yeah.
I did put that on my lawn, and I tell you, this spring it was a little different because, like I was saying, we were getting a lot of rain, but I have certainly noticed I have been able to cut back my watering dramatically.
Nice.
And I'm probably going to do another application of it. I don't know. I might even get out there and do it this weekend.
Yeah. The Hydrotane is
Hydrotane.
It is amazing, isn't it?
It really is. I was, you've told me about it before. I think maybe I picked up a liquid before in the past, but I tend to be more persistent with putting out granules because I've got my spreader, I've got all my lawn stuff there. So if I have a granule bag of something, there's just something about it. It makes me want to put it out. So I can be a little bit better about doing those granules. And I was very impressed with it. So I'm thinking this weekend I might be putting out some Hydrotane, some humic, and maybe even I might go a little bit less than what I would normally put out, but even some Green Maker, some lawn fertilizer to keep that lawn looking nice.
If you do the Green Maker with the Hydrotane, since it's got the extra sulfur and the iron in it, it will really, really green your lawn up. But that Hydrotane, man, it does. It's like instead of watering on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays, you can go to like Mondays and Thursdays and take 30% of your water out of the mix, and it will still stay at least as green, if not greener than it was before. That stuff is just awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
and then again on that Green Maker, like you said, with the sulfur, you're able to green up your lawn without too much nitrogen. I mean, I don't want to mow more than my neighbors. I want my lawn to be greener than my neighbors.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what I'm getting. And, I always kind of hesitate, how much fertilizer am I going to put out in the summertime, especially when temperatures are getting warm. I'm not at all concerned this year because of that Hydrotane. I feel like my soil's got good, adequate moisture. I'm not going to have any risk of burning. I don't think I'm going to have to really change my watering all that much.
Right.
I've been very impressed with it. So thank you for turning me on to that.
The great thing with the Hydrotane is whether it's Mother Nature providing the water or whether it's you providing the water, it absorbs it down into the soil. You have less evaporation. You have more absorption and retention as well, too. And so it just makes your water that much more effective. So
yeah, isn't it something that also pulls moisture out of the atmosphere and locks it into the soil? It
does. So like we had a little bit of moisture yesterday, and it just kind of got the roads wet, but you'll have dew on the grass this morning. The Hydrotane will actually pull that water down into the soil so that it doesn't just evaporate off as soon as the sun pops up. So it just makes every bit of water that your soil gets that much more effective. So.
Well, that's
cool
certainly
stuff.
been my trick this year. I always share all my tips and tricks with my neighbors, but that was one thing that I tried out myself, and I'm sure I'll be passing it along next year to everybody.
Especially where we're having drought conditions in Utah. If we get to the point where we're starting to like conserve even more, this is a product that makes conservation really, really easy because you can really cut your water back and still keep your yard looking really, really good. So
yeah,
cool stuff.
And that's where when you have years like this where you guys are going through this drought and not a lot of moisture out there, all the previous years of using stuff like humic comes into play.
Yeah.
I mean, humic's not one of those things you can put down in one application and see results right away. You've got to use it time after time and year after year.
Yeah.
And
repetitively.
You spend the last several years building up a good, healthy, 6 inches of soil for your grass to grow in and put those roots down into. This is when it really benefits.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
It is.
For sure.
It is. So, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
and mow your grass tall.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Daniel, we've really appreciated having you join us on the show, and it's been great. We enjoyed the callers, Chris in Virginia, and we'll be taking more calls next week for the Garden Guide. Hope everyone has a great rest of their 4th of July weekend.
Absolutely.
Red, white, and 250. We're proudly celebrating America's semi-quincentennial. This is News Talk KVNU, Logan.